Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Polly, and the theme for today's flow class is boundaries and freedom. Lately, I've had to create some boundaries for myself, especially around how many hours I can work at my various jobs and how much time I can be dedicating to supporting my daughters in their home learning scenarios. I don't know if anyone else can relate. In my home, we've had to design different schedules, different spaces in our home for working, for learning, for exercising, and all of that. And to be honest, creating this structure has been really helpful. Without them, I was feeling way overextended, pulled in too many directions, and it was not sustainable. On the flip side, with too much structure, there was a danger of not being able to roll with all the changes that are being thrown at us on a daily basis. So in today's practice, we're going to explore those concepts and find what's sustainable, not just on our mat, but off our mat. We're going to map that idea in our body by looking at the shoulder joint, which is a highly mobile joint. And once we are able to align safely, in other words, create some boundaries for the shoulder joint, my hope is that you'll feel a bit more freedom in some asanas and all over more healthy in your shoulder joints. Sound like a plan? All right, let's get started. You'll need a strap or something like a strap, like I don't know, a dog leash or a hand tail or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and get started in child's pose. So bring your knees as wide as the mat and your big toes touching. Stretch your hips back to the heels. They may or may not go all the way there. And we'll take the kind of child's pose today with the forehead on the mat and the arms by your sides. Chest is closed and shoulders are rounded in. So we're actually going into the dysfunction of this rounded in feeling in our bodies. We're doing nothing to strengthen, stretch, or stabilize our shoulder joints. So we're basically like getting that out of our system. For the rest of class, we'll be looking to do so, to stretch, strengthen, and stabilize. So reach one hand and then the other out in front of you now. Come up onto your fingertips. Lift the elbows. So you're lifting the armpits away from the mat. And notice if you're already feeling some increase in muscle tone in the upper back. This is what we're looking for. Take a full breath in and full breath out. Make your way to all fours and then downward facing dog. Walk your feet to your hands and come up standing in Tadasana. We'll start with a few warm-up exercises for the shoulders. First, taking a few shoulder rolls back. Get a feel for how they're doing this today or this morning, if you're doing this in the morning. And come forward. And then relax arms by your sides and reach the arms just halfway up. And then lower and down. Inhale up, coordinating breath, and exhale to lower. It's so important to warm up the shoulders to prevent issues, or if you're dealing with an issue or recovering from a challenge, super important to warm up before every flow practice. Nice, let's go one more. And then from here, take your arms into goalposts and make like little cat claws with your hands. And on an exhale, round the upper back, unplug the shoulders. And then inhale, plug the shoulders in, bend the elbows, open the chest, even lift the chin here if the neck feels okay today. And then exhale to round in. So it's like a standing cat pose. Unplug the shoulders and then plug them in, essentially creating structure in the shoulder joint. and look up. Let's do that one more time. Unplug, go into the dysfunction, and then plug in, open the chest, lift the chin, look up. Nicely done. Release and shake it out. And then grab your strap or whatever you have that's kind of like a strap. We'll do another stretch here. So take the strap, shoulder width or slightly wider. Lower the strap down. And then we're going to get really bright. This is good alignment. So lift the armpits away from the floor. Essentially shrug the shoulders up to your ears. It's not a harsh shrug. It's just kind of like a gentle shrug to get bright through the side bodies. From here, bring the strap out in front of you, bend the elbows, and pull the shoulders back. Plug them in. Yeah. Open the chest, and then reach the strap overhead, and maybe even come back behind you. Huh. So this is a nice stretch, and you're going to take your throat back too. A stretch through the pec muscles and the shoulders, or the muscles in the shoulder complex. And this is actually a great stretch to do throughout the day, maybe when you're walking the dog with the dog leash or sitting at your desk. Nice, and then release the strap. Whew. Notice how you feel. And set the strap aside. And we'll step back to downward facing dog. Come to all fours now. And we'll move through some of those alignment principles that we just talked about. So make space from your hips to your armpits by drawing your shoulders up. And then melt the chest. We're using gravity here to do so. So chest lowers towards the mat, essentially plugging the shoulders, the arm bones, I should say, into the shoulder sockets. And then from here, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze back into a cow pose. And then exhale to round the upper back. Tuck the tailbone, look to the navel. Come back to neutral. And we'll do that one more time. Armpits lift, get bright. Lower the chest, integrate the shoulders into their sockets. Nice. Lift the sitting bones, look up. And exhale to round. Come back to neutral. And we'll do that one more time and then move from there into downward facing dog. So float the armpits, plug the shoulders. Notice if the lower ribs are really sinking and draw them in. This helps protect the lower back and also engages our core. Tuck the toes and keeping all that structure in the shoulder girdle, slide back to downward facing dog. So feeling hopefully a sense of stability in the upper body, like you could be here for one more round of breath. We'll take a full breath in and full breath out. Come forward now to high plank. Keep the chest melting towards the thumbs. And then lower knees, chest, and chin. Untuck the toes. Bring fingers back pretty much in line with the lower rib cage. We're going to move through a baby cobra, but with the same alignment principles for healthy shoulder integration. So side body's long, head of the arm bones back, so shoulder blades squeeze towards one another. And from here, lift into your baby cobra. We're going to hold this here, strengthening the upper back. These are muscles that get really overstretched throughout the day as we're gazing down at our phones or our computers. So paying attention to them in our practice can be really healthy and help avoid shoulder injuries and lower back strain. Nice, I know, hopefully you're feeling this. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Lower. Press back to all fours, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. New down dog. So shoulders lift slightly, heart melts, shoulder blades squeeze together, lower ribs come in, waistline's full. Inhale and look to the hands, and then exhale and walk your feet all the way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale to fold. With a flat back, rise up, look up, and exhale, hands to the heart. Sun salutation A. Inhale, hands lift, and exhale to fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the mat or shins. And then exhale, step back to high plank. Pause in high plank, look forward, and then lower through Chaturanga Dandasana, option to come to knees. Inhale, baby cobra, shoulder blades squeeze towards one another, or tape it into a deeper back bend. Exhale to lower. Inhale, all fours to downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, step or walk, feet to hands. Halfway lift, inhale when you land. And exhale to fold inside. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to heart. Well done. Bend the knees now for chair pose or Utkatasana and reach the hands high. Lift through the chest, sit back in your heels. Bring your arms out in front of you now, soft bend in the elbows, and we'll move through those same alignment principles. Side body's long, shoulders plug in, arms reach up, nice and straight. Now stand tall, keeping all that in the upper body, and exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, step the left foot back. Feet are hip width, and come up, hands to hips. Arms back to sleepwalker pose. Side body's bright. Vacuum the arm bones back into the shoulder sockets. Straighten the arms now. Reach them up. Notice if the lower ribs are splaying out and tuck them in to create space in the pose, to create more freedom, more balance. Hands to the mat. Look forward, step forward, halfway lift, and exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift, step the right foot back, hands to hips. Bring your arms in front of you. Soft bend in the elbows like you're holding the sun. Float the armpits. Plug in the shoulders, arm bones, I should say. Straighten the arms and get tall. Create boundaries in your shoulders as a reflection of not overextending yourself, saying no. And then draw the lower ribs in to reflect the space you've created, the freedom. And then reach up through the fingers and look up. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step back this time, high plank, and we'll move through a vinyasa. Lower all the way to the mat. Inhale, cobra pose, baby cobra, or come up higher. Exhale to lower. Inhale, down, or rather, lift up, and exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale and lift the right leg up to down dog split. And then exhale, knee to nose, and step through. Dial the back foot down and come right up into extended side angle. Right forearm's on the thigh. And left arm's going to go out in front of you like a T, parallel to the mat or to the floor. Yeah. We'll move through the same alignment principles. So draw the shoulder up towards the ear and then plug it in. From there, take the left arm overhead, bicep by ear, and turn the belly and chest up. Throat back. Breathe here. Well done. Inhale to warrior two. Shoulder blades draw towards one another. Gaze out all over your fingers. And then cartwheel, hands to the mat, square the hips, and step back. Nicely done. Second side, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Step through, low lunge. Back heel lowers. Extended side angle. Set it up with the left forearm to the thigh. Right arm comes out in front of you. Unplug the shoulder. And then lengthen the side body. Waist to armpit. Draw the head of the arm bone back. And then sweep the right arm over. Extend from the heart through the arm and fingers. And then reach all the way down from the right side, right fingers, all the way down through the right foot. Inhale up to warrior two. Take a gaze out over the left fingers. Thank yourself for making it to your mat, for being the badass that you are. And then cartwheel, hands to the mat, and step back, high plank, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, Cobra pose, and exhale to downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, forward, high plank, and then lower all the way to the mat. Set up for Sphinx pose. So number 11, arms. Energetically draw the elbows back. Chest reaches forward. And then melt slightly, so there's a passive integration of the shoulders here. Keeping that, tuck the toes and engage or tone the muscles of the legs. Knees lift off the mat, and then hips and torso also lift. So here we are in forearm plank. You'll stay here or come with me for side forearm plank. So your foundation is your left forearm. Come onto your right fingertips and the foundation of your outer left foot. There you go. Left shoulder is more or less sinking. So it's home in its socket. It's happy. Reach the right hand high. Second side, come back through center. Press down through the right forearm, outer right foot. Come onto the left fingertips, get your balance. And then inhale, float the left hand high. Exhale through center, and we're gonna flow that. Start by getting balance on your fingertips. Lift the arm. Exhale, center. Inhale, balance. Lift the arm. Exhale, center. Keep it going, or hold forearm plank. Last time. Come back to center and lower down. Take a mini break here in Sphinx Pose. Whew. And then lower forehead to the mat. Tuck the toes. Press back. Downward facing dog. Next pose is Bashistasana. So we'll start by bringing the right foot halfway up the mat and turn the toes out to 3 o'clock. Before you move forward in the pose, Take the left hand out in front of you. So the left left wrist is in front of the shoulder. This is going to help with stability, with integration. From here, turn onto the outer left foot, right hand to hip. Notice that my shoulder is unplugged. I'm going to go side body long, plug the shoulder. Nice. And then from here, I'm able to rotate open and maybe even try stacking my foot. So you stay here or step the right foot behind you and lift into wild thing. Open, curl back into the upper back. And even the right shoulder is plugged in for range of motion, for freedom. Exhale to downward facing dog. Second side. Left foot steps halfway up your mat and turns out to 9 o'clock. Turn on to the outer right foot and make sure the right wrist is in front of the right shoulder. From here, plug the right shoulder in so shoulder blades come towards one another, like squeeze towards one another. Stay with the left foot planted, or if you're feeling stable, take the left foot up, left hand up. Maybe your gaze even goes up. Stay here or step the left foot behind for wild thing. So the more plugged in the shoulder, the more integrated, the more range of motion you'll have to peel back into the pose. Even the top arm, top shoulders plugged in. I always want to be like, freedom in this pose. Come back to downward facing dog. Nice. Root the femurs back. Avoid dropping the shoulders. Keep the structure, keep the boundaries. And then step in about 12 inches and step the right foot to the hands. For pyramid pose, lower the left toes, left foot's 45-degree angle facing out. Lift halfway and then exhale to fold. Option to have hands to your hips, or if you have blocks, hands to the blocks here. Chin lowers, head and neck relax. Most of you have heard of Brene Brown, who is the queen of setting boundaries. She talks about the courage to create boundaries. And by that, I think she's telling us that it's courageous to claim the boundaries, claim the structure for ourselves. And in doing so, we can be more generous with others. That's where the courage comes in. We're also able to sustain ourselves, our work, family life, our homes, especially in times like these difficult times. We'll do a step up here and a step back with the right foot. Halfway lift for a flat back. And exhale to fold. Again, hands to blocks or hands to hips if your hands don't reach the mat. Nice. Step up. Bend the knees to come to seated. And we'll take a seated twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So take the left foot to the outer right hip, and the right foot crosses over the left knee. Right hand comes behind, left hand reaches up, and on an exhale, twist, left elbow to right knee. Inhale and get long through the spine, take the throat back. And then exhale to twist over the right shoulder. And come back through center and shake out the legs. And then we'll switch it out. Right foot tucks in, adjacent to the left hip, and the left foot crosses over the right knee. Left hand comes behind, stay up on the fingertips, reach the right arm up and back, and exhale to twist. Elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, take the throat back, and twist over the left shoulder. Inhale to come back through center. Take the legs out in front of you. Shift forward so you have space to come to lying on your back. And I'll offer one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, both legs long. You've done a lot of chest opening, shoulder opening. So taking Shavasana like this, a nice counter pose. So all the stretching, strengthening, opening you've done. Take a full breath in. And on your exhale, allow gravity to take over. Shoulders are soft. Torso is heavy. Feel supported by the earth and by your practice. As you claim these few final moments for a full relaxation. And slowly bring awareness back to your breath. Allow a deep breath in from the toes all the way through the torso, chest, and then bend the knees, one and then the other. Roll to one side. And then press hands into the earth to press to seated with the eyes closed or maintaining a soft gaze. Bring hands to heart center. May this practice help you to feel better in your shoulders physically, and also to feel better about balancing your priorities, and in doing so, being more present for yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Thank you for coming to practice together today in community. Namaste.